in the V4 Future Sports International Cup. It's their map pick of Overpass set for a 2-1 series victory if the BP5 series team cannot hold anything against that here as we get into our pistol round for our first map up, Dweg.
For BP5, I'm just keen to see what they can bring to the table, see if they can keep it tight, keep it competitive, and, well, starting things off on for the T side for Wisla, the pistols, with some util coming through.
Straight up for Marcos, of course, first man out. Corey's going to get caught off, completely flash blinded by the utility coming in from the Wisla side, continuously putting things down to try force them out of position here. Swaying up from Corey, sees that first player, draws first blood onto Sparrow, sees two more players on the site itself, doing their damage as appropriate, but unable to hold that 3 versus 3, with Ito coming into the backlines. Jedka and PHR going to force out the advantage, but again, responses are there. But as Bedito loses his teammates, he becomes the last man standing. 1v2, the bomb will go down, he'll swing, he'll take shots out. Jedka can find the frag, and Wisla can find the pistol.
Yeah, great sequence coming out from the Wisla side for them to just be able to overwhelm that A site, get those individuals really fired up. PHR coming away with a triple, and for BP5, it seemed that Corey was going to give them some life, give them a hold back into the round. Not to be at all. They will be forcing it up, getting that scout out for Fleeve. Deagle's in for everybody else, and for Wisla, we are seeing a few MAC-10s coming through, or some SMGs as well with that MP5.
Still plenty of rifles out for them here. Wisla, of course, looking to get the firepower involved very early into this matchup. First fire of the respective weapons. Deagle's out on BP5, the scout. Part of the force buy that this CT side were definitely going to bring in regardless of what really happened. Very slow and careful from this side. A bit of a slow opening half to the pistol round. If they can try replicate right here and now against this CT forces. They will drive them back now with the utility base.
Now for BP5, just being able to create some sort of opening duel, give themselves an early advantage to work with. And Jedka just being that lurk outside of Monster, holding the attention of the B player so they don't rotate up. Wisla, widespread default, getting a flash over the top out from short water. That's going to open up Condor. No one on the boost spot to be seen.
Slow and careful placements here from the Wisla side. Budapest 5 will tap their way forward onto that monster control, in particular for Aaron. Goofy utility out with Molotovs down, smokes involved. Marcos slow walking in towards long, being the lurk player here. The main T-side force are forming up towards middle and towards the bathrooms. Smokes over, should be body blocked by several CT. Sparrow keeps his eyes on as Corey holds back towards that corner. Engagements in, and Goofy will win that first fight. Fleet can trade it back, and Marcos can respond towards him. So 3 versus 3, making it 2 as Coolio drops, and Wisla have the site.
They've got to really just back off from this sort of position. They know they've done damage onto PHR, but the numbers just aren't there at all. Spirit going for a very aggressive play up to that bank position, dealing with Aaron, and Petito's just got to try and save onto the Deagle and Kevlar would have had. I would have liked more so for BP5 just to hold on to those couple of players, just have some sort of upgrades moving forward. Aaron getting caught off means another player's going to fall, and for Wisla, not really being challenged in that anti-force buy at all.
Yeah, very simple stuff coming in from them. Right, force up again. They had the better weapons, so it is understandable as to why that ends up being the case. However, a very simple enough affair for them to maintain control of BP5. Overwhelmed again, having to force save onto the Deagle and the Kevlar. 2-0 at the start for Wisla, losing only 1 player of Goofy. I think it was an SMG that was dropped out there, so they can upgrade to the AKs pretty nicely. And BP5 should not have much in the tank for this next one. Straight eco across the CT board.
This is a great chance for Goofy just to be able to farm up as much money as possible. Potentially even drop an AWP over to Marcos going into the next rifle round when they are able to farm up even further, try and keep the economy good for him. And for BP5, you're just hoping for any kind of damage. There's going to be some upgrades coming through. Goofy just fast out, and really the B site very open with this stack on A.
Yeah, straight walk out. Wisla should get the bomb plant. Nothing left in it for BP5. MAC-10 keeping their eyes on, and Wolves trying to press forward. If that MAC-10 can get any of the kills out here, that'll be plenty of easy money that can be gained for the T-side start. Coolio gets caught first as Goofy can insert and get that opening as the bomb goes down. Sparrow's also caught players out towards long. Another kill back for that MAC-10 on Corey. Aaron's hoping he can bait in that player, get the kill. May even be able to get a Galil out, which would be a nice rifle bonus for the CT side, but caught with his back turn. Fleeve kind of strike and will get 1 responsive. But again, only a MAC-10 dropping here. Wisla won't be too fussed about that.
And they'll be even happy knowing the amount of MAC-10 kills that came through for Goofy of a triple. And Fleeve just trying to see if he can stay alive and do some further damage. Wisla going to make it way up to 3. And again, a round in which they don't really lose many players at all. Only 1 to drop, so money's looking very, very strong for them. And for BP5, this is where they've got to be able to strike back quickly. They'll get that AWP button for Fleeve over on that CT basis, get a good buy together with a couple of kits. Marcos is going to do the same over on that T side, buy it and invest it himself. How can the Hungarians strike back? Haven't seen a lot of aggression from them so far on the CT basis.
The smokes are down instead. The suppression involved towards that monster angle. The T-side players will set themselves in towards that short control initially. Bedito looking for presence. Will catch Jedka. Nice and effective out with the M4s. Now that the rifles are in their hands, Wisla might be on the slight back foot. Bit of a bonus for them on the T-side line. So if they lose this kind of a round, so long as they keep that AWP in, still shouldn't be too much of a worry for them. They've lost that opening pick though.
Well, we saw some pace coming through from Goofy in that last round. This time around, it's actually Jedka that just gets caught off for it. Bedito down to 44. Opening man advantage being found. And now for Wisla, they can start putting some of these nades up to the bathrooms of banana position. Try and see if they can over-rotate the CTs. They're still playing 3 on B.
Oh, a bit premature spray there from Aaron. PHR's been able to back off completely unscathed because of it. Well, mostly unscathed. He's alive at least. The past 5. Sitting with the 3 players on that B side, still receiving nothing. They're expecting boosts to come through, expecting Wisla to try and make a play.
They've still got plenty of time left on the clock, and, well, the Poles have done a great job of just farming out this utility, baiting as much of it forward. Corey is making an info play out from the bathrooms and could have the opportunity of catching off the AWPer.
35 seconds. Corey's hearing those footsteps, could insert himself directly in with an easy backstab against Marcos. Will he just go for the simple spray? I imagine he will do so. Yep, that's easy pickings against the man. 5 on 3. Goofy holding with the Galil. Not expecting the rotations here. His back's going to be turned to Corey. Can't punish it with a double up. Sparrow meanwhile walking in towards long. If only there was enough time for that bomb to rotate back towards it. I think both players might have to save, as Wisla are going to concede that first to the CT side.
That whole round, Wisla were trying to get set up, and they just weren't able to be into the right positions at the right time. Hunt coming through for the CTs to try and catch that last player out for Monster after time. Doesn't quite completely go through. So the idea there is probably just trying to sell the A-fake. Get some of those nades forward from Marcos outside of Divider. Get Spiro with just a walkout and a flank onto the A-side to wrap heaven. And for Corey, well, he was just such a menace in from the banana position, going down into Con and catching off Goofy. These 2 kills, that was the round was over from there.
Yeah, Goofy didn't think he'd just press forward. He thought he might hold back in that mid control, and that mistake costing them dearly here on the Wisla Krakow side. BP5. AWP set in. Fleeve can look for contact and tries if he can get that AWP to effective for the CT base. It's not going to quite be as successful for him. Of course, the rebuy is back into Wisla. Again, that was a bonus round. There were mostly Galils out for them. They can re-afford the AWP. They can afford all the AKs. Corey and Coolio still want to win those opening fights. Bedito will find Jedka out towards the B site, and Marcos can catch the first player. Goofy jump phase is baiting the shots of the second man. Can't quite isolate the kill. Marcos is there for a response.
That was a great read from Wisla to work out the aggressive long play. They still take a lot of damage for it, though. This actually works out quite nicely for the CTs, and Spirit's just walking forward. He's hearing those footsteps of Fleeve retreating to the side.
Just spotted the man. AWP just to rotate back at APC here. Still looking on towards long. Expecting that Wisla might have gone towards that position. Now they forced out the fights. BP5 boosting up as well to cover off Connector and the rotations that could get called. They are going back towards T-Con instead. So Aaron's got a bit more defensive hold than just looking onto Connector. Onto the B site is where BP5 are going to have to spread out. Wisla 40 seconds to the hit.
They've still got 2 smokes on a molly, and none of it has gone down to that monster position just yet. BP5 even going to rotate Aaron back up to the A side. The slight sound cue out for Monster. Bedito's going to hear that and start bringing a teammate back.
Oh, awkward nade there from the CT, man. I think that was Aaron that tried to throw that. Now to walk out straight up. Sparrow flashed in. Molotov out towards the back of Ram. Bedito struggling to get that kill, but comes forward with it regardless. And bomb plot will also be secured here. A 3-on-2 that favors BP5. Aaron looking above the smoke. Gets caught off by PH. Shots back to even as we go. But Fleevo's responsive, and it's all left to Marcos now. His AWP versus 2. Trying to get himself aggressive here towards water. That bomb planting out behind the pillar, sees one man. Bedito heard the footstep of the second man. Well, he doesn't even need a scope to make a quadra. Marcos gets the 4th for Wisla.
Bro, what a round coming through from Marcos. Up close and personal in the pit position on the site itself. The AWP coming through with the 1v2. A great sequence and a great clutch coming forward. Oh, the quick scope, the no scope at that distance. Honestly, that is not an easy shot to hit.
That is silly to get. Definitely not a kind of kill that you'd expect to come in that easily here. And a hell of a round recovery for the man. Of course, Wisla right back on track, forcing BP5 down to a bit of a forced investment. Of course, their economy was gained a little bit early on into this matchup, and now Fleeve drops the first casualty of this round. Corey can't find a responsive, so it's a 4v4 early.
Yeah, Fleeve getting no support out from long in terms of a crossfire, just getting caught off, just sleeping, trying to get into another reposition. Rotations up from the A side are going to take some time. There's no one on A directly.
Really slow walking here, the smokes go on. Molotov will come out as Corey attacks, sprays, does damage, but Jedka comes up with a kill instead. That's one better for Wisla. The bomb can make his way to site and get planted. Will it be planted towards default, I imagine? Yeah, Goofy just going to cover him off at bank. No one's watching in from the dumpster position. The nades should come back and try and suppress here. A bit of damage being done to Aaron. Swing out for Goofy. Does lose his life to the man, so 3v3.
A decent util to get that molly forward to force him out to the open. Marcos out from long. They're going to have a difficult time dealing with him.
Bedka's going to try and insert himself in as being another thorn on the side of Budapest 5. Bedito, incendiaries on. Jedka just waiting. Back here did get hurt. Aaron, he capitalized on the kill, but time has been worn down. 12 seconds. Sparrow swings out, gets Bedito. AWP's another player crossing. Is there a kit? Well, now there's nobody left here as Marcos cleans up Coolio, and Wisla will find 5.
We are blessed with some absolute grand AWPers in the Polish scene. MHL, for a moment, last year, Jay was really starting to make his way forward. Obviously, we know in the likes of Hades, and you've got even more like Snatchy on the AGO side, and we've just seen for Marcos how consistent and comfortable he looks here for Wisla on the T side.
Yeah, he looks great. Absolutely fantastic. BP5 be suffering as a result of that, down to the straight eco here. Stacking towards long. Sparrow's going to see them coming. Loses his life for the sheer numbers gain that the CT's had there. So there is one AK that they can get picked up. The bomb will make its way towards the B site, though. The MAC 10's going to clear it out. Should get planted. Do BP5 go for a retake?
Well, you might as well send a few players forward. You want to be able to hold that AK for sure. Wisla almost feels a little bit breezy. I mean, some of the rounds have come down to the wire, and it has come down to some clutches coming in from Marcos. Overall, though, it just seems that for Budapest 5, it is quite flat on this CT basis. Haven't been able to find a lot of early success. In terms of man advantages in 5v4s on gun rounds, they're just not coming in.
Wisla can capitalize on that at their own right. Good kill for Bedito on the exit, but 10 seconds left. Ooh, a couple of casualties will make it a bit of an expensive round. There's no kit, though, so again, there's no chance that BP5 are going to find it this round. Even that AK stays in for Bedito. At least it stays in for Coolio. Damage done, though. Respectable eco here for the CTs.
Yeah, they can be happy with that. Bedito just running forward because he knows he's going to go down to the bomb. Might as well try and see if I can get another fight. See if I can drop another one of those T-side players. AWP back out for Fleeve. BP5 yet to take one of these tactical timeouts. You'd have to wonder that if they lose going into round 8, a tactical might have to be on its way.
Wisla so far so dominant. BP5 might have to change the pace a little bit to try and change that position. AWP of Marcos getting that first kill. Fleeves AWP looking down into connector. And they might have spotted a player up in the heaven position, so there might be some information for Wisla. Not that advantage, Bedito going to try and take it right back, spray through, catches 2 players, only gets 1 kill. Goofy with a responsive, Jedka with a follow-up, and it's a 4v2 for Wisla.
Just hesitant for BP5. They don't quite continue to over-aggress. They're sort of almost separated between one another, and they just get picked off by the riflers. Coolio here on the B side, spring out to the left-hand side. Okay, Spirit does force this damage being done, only gets away with 1, and Fleeve is just, he's all the way out at long. He's got to save and hold on to the AWP. There's nothing he can do.
Be an incredible clutch if he could, but I think you're right on that front. Just hold on to the wall. A weapon is the best play for them. Devon 1 for Wisla. BP5 had that one good round, and since then it's just been all CT detriment. And it is something that we can expect to see again. Wisla picked into this map for good reason. And they are showing their solidity right here, right now. I think now is the time where you call a tactical timeout if you're BP5, though. The money's not quite there for an investment, and if that AWP can stay in, though, you could justify a force buy.
And you can kind of look at the qualifiers to get into the International Cup and go, well, everyone's kind of on the same level because they won their qualifier. They came first. You could think that. It's just that for BP5, the competitive nature of their scene in Hungary isn't quite the same as Poland at all. And for the Budapest 5 side, they've won 3 events locally in the last 3 months. It's just when it comes to the international teams, and when they face European competition, things do get more difficult. And we're seeing this here on the early stages of Overpass.
Early start, early confidence. Carrying forward for Wisla, and a 7-1 scoreline. Orb staying in for BP5 will be force brought around here. We're seeing the M4s coming out. We're seeing the utility that should pour in for them. But no tactical here. There's no opportunity for them to slow the pace down and try and stagger Wisla's lead and stagger their momentum. Might come back to bite them here if this matchup continues going this way. They will try and brute force it here with Flews. AWP moving up towards mid. Does see one, does catch that kill.
No, that's more like it. Being able to initiate that opening fire out from the party position. More counter utility out from Connector as well to just stop Wisla working their default forward. They don't take a massive amount of damage, but it's the information gathered.
First man down, a Sparrow. Nades coming into the T-side line. Have just done a minimal amount on the HP numbers to go above Goofy. We'll leave that charge up towards Connect to start establishing that mid presence and get very aggressive as well. He's got very little support, just PHR right behind him. The smoke onto the CT side will suppress Vista's mid campaign.
Now, a minute on the clock, there's still plenty of time for them to work with. The enemy beat for Fleet is still very aggressive. Oh, got close to that shot, but missed it with him being so aggressive.
4v4 scenario, Molotov's in. Pressing over towards that long control, which will keep one player at bay. Goofy taking his face, and the flashbang comes back out. Aaron with face up will catch Goofy. Nice and effective. Coolio trying to get that backstab together. Gets Marcos so low, but he stays alive here. An advantage for Budapest 5 with 30 seconds left for the bomb to go down. Finally, Jedka gets caught, and the plant should be secured here. Marcos might be a bit of a concern here as he's such low HP. Rely heavily on PHR to get the cross together, and, well, he's dead man now. Corey looking at Marcos, gets his double, and gets the round.
And just a lot of backstabbing players coming through for BP5 in that situation. Fleet was very out to the open, missing that chance to keep it into a 5v3, getting traded very early on from Goofy. And then just the situation in which you've got a wrap coming in from long, you've got a wrap coming in from the top of Connector, and everyone being in positions where they're just catching team players off guard. I like as well that for Aaron, he peeks forward out from bank and just dips, just gets out of there so damn quickly and goes, right, I don't need to overextend. I'll just work with the team, work with the advantage, and get the Hungarians their second.
Oh, that's an awkward miss volley there for Jedka. Starting to do a bit of resistance from Budapest 5. Might start rocking that confidence as I say that. Marcos does catch a direct headshot onto Corey. Damage has been done to Sparrow, I think, by that HE. Man advantage goes the way of Vista, and Jedka might extend it to 2. Can't see Aaron just yet, and Aaron does not adjust to the headshot.
And now they're just getting picked apart. They lose the opening fight. They say to themselves, we need to push forward. We need to make an aggressive move, make a play. And they try that from Aaron out in Monster. Doesn't work at all. You might just have to gamble stack in this position now in the 3v5.
Jump face for the AWP. I'm checking no one's out towards that long angle. They will leave one player on that B site. The 2 individuals on A are going to spread out as well. Easily isolated duels for Wisla Krakow. Budapest 5 hoping that they can get a decent pick back, reposition, work from there to pick apart this T side one by one. Those opportunities won't come towards them though. They'll get no chance here in this round.
But they know that Orpa's playing out in A, and yeah, Coolio's going to think about being able to provide some assistance. Wisla, they could just sell the A fake. They've still got 2 lurks in and around this A site. The bomb's going over to Monster.
I mean, challenged directly by Badito out towards that grill angle. He could be in for that monster aggression. Sees 3, gets 1, but only 1. That bomb making its way up, and the CT's going for that 2-man gamble stack. Probably at this stage best to save the AK and the AWP here. They'll try and look for a kill through the smoke, and Coolio will catch the player in the back, but not the player on the plant. 3-on-2 retake here, and Goofy's extended all the way out towards jungle. Coolio has no idea. His back's turned. It's all a case of timing. They will lose Jedka, and now the strike comes in from Goofy. All left to Fleeve. But a pull off of Marcos here. Unfortunately missing his first, not connected that second. But Marcos warps one better as he gets the 8th for Wisla.
Jeez, what's he had for breakfast? That's his 3rd clutch, and we've only played 10 rounds. Yeah, he's been in situations where the trading game has obviously assisted him to get the last couple of kills in. Petito only finding one out from Monster, needed to get more in that situation. Decent retake attempt, honestly. Slight window of opportunity. Fleeve being able to capitalize on a Goofy, just not catching that last player. And for BP5, it's all individual rounds so far from them.
Yeah, no strings together. No momentum-based game from them. Tactical timeout finally does come forward from the BP5 camp. A little bit late for my money, though. Wisla have already won the half. 6 to the difference, and they do have at least a buyback here. Supported by the concession of a FAMAS on Aaron and concession of utility across several players here on BP5. Broke out early towards that monster control as Wisla go down into connector and out towards the mid-default. Credit to BP5. I mean, these rounds have been going pretty one-sidedly to the favor of Wisla, but they've still been able to do the damage to the money game. I mean, you can see the cash investment on this round for Wisla. There's not a lot in the reserves. I mean, this game could swing on the drop of a dime. It all comes up to this next round for me.
I wonder how they change up this long peak, because last time it just got obliterated. Yeah, they brought it back to a 3v3, but it was just found on the info so early. Should see a flash over the top. Corey get a peek forward. Oh, he's already been baited.
Great kill for Coolio. Sparrow trades it back 4-on-4. Smoke down. Oh, Marcos gets a leg shot looking to finish off Corey with a nade. It's off position, so there's no kill against the CT player. We'll just sit pretty for now for the T's.
Just baiting a further mistake. Fleeve is still very aggressive out from Divider. And with this smoke clearing, Sparrow's got the chance of just walking forward or even just waiting for the AWP to get further aggressive. And Fleeve hasn't mind going up to this party angle. And Sparrow's just saying, right, I'm going to keep eyes down onto the top con and bathroom position, see if I can hear any of these sound cues. You guys bring the bomb over to B.
They're going to walk out and Monster, hoping that Aaron gives up the ghost here. Got Corey, who could be in trouble out towards long if that kill comes in. That might force a rotation, but these 3 individuals on their B site got everything to do here. Wisla, PHR, the first man to face no counter utility from the CT side, but PHR making mistakes when he pulls out his flashbang. Aaron can finally drop that one individual, look back in with a second, but Jedka responds to it. AWP of Fleeve, sat back here towards the graffiti angle, 10 seconds for the bomb to go down. Jedka facing, good shot onto that first man, looking to jump no-scope onto Marcos, not going to land it. Look around the edge of the smoke. Oh, and another tag. Not quite the kills for Fleeve. He's tagged him low. The USP can still finish the job. I think he knows that he connected. Sparrow's going to be the main concerning element, though. Fleeve tapping that bomb. Marcos wrapping over. Converted in by Sparrow. His AK finishes the job. A triple up for him. And another round for Wisla.
BP5 are just getting red on, unfortunately. Wisla, they go for what? A walkout from Monster. They do decently for that first trade back, and then what happens? The CTs are just getting sandwiched. They can't go Monster because they're going to have to take a fight. They can't go back out to the site because Jedka's already pushed up aggressively in the sandbags. And while all that information is being made out from the B site, Spiro is still there in party to catch one of the A rotators off. With Wisla up to 9. Jeez, this is one hell of a first half.
It is. It really is. Really solid stuff coming in from them. BP5. The Eagle hand cannons on a half buy. Should be another round for Wisla. You can imagine probably like 10-2, 11-2, 12-2. All very likely scorelines. I don't even want to say possible scorelines. They're pretty likely here in Wisla. Playing a lights out game on their map pick. The Budapest 5 camp. Trying to hold off some sort of response with PHR. We'll get that first frag. At least Aaron's there for a responsive, but how quickly has he responded to himself?
Just all the trading game going on for the T's. BP5 think for a moment, oh, got a rifle. We can do something with this. Flash over the top. Coolio's completely blind. Petito does get away with one. Needs to try and follow up, and he's just getting flanked on upon from that monster position. Last player in Fleeve, already down low.
Yeah, standard half by around Wisla, taking a couple of casualties. To limit the economy stay here. So again, there are some positives to BP5, but all the positives in the world are not going to mean rounds, and that's the one thing they're missing right now. They are missing the scoreline. And that's everything for Wisla at this moment, because even if they do lose the economy game, even if they do lose out on some resets, it's okay, because they're 8 rounds ahead.
Yeah, BP5 running out of opportunities to keep it tight on Overpass, and we both did kind of come into this saying strong map picks for both teams. Being down 2-10, I didn't really see this coming, to be honest.
I could see a world in which it did happen, because again, this is the most solid map in the veto for me. I could see BP5 having a bit of a contest over on Mirage and such. This one, this map going as well as it has to Wisla. I mean, again, I didn't expect it to be that as one-sided as it has been, but I also see this as being par for the course for this squad. AWPs, AKs, AWPs out for the CT side as well. The rifles are standard. Smokes on position to block him out. The T angle, Corey. Molotov as well. Balls up towards top. Con, can he blind spray? No, he won't. They'll make their way out towards short. Start the B campaign.
I could see a counter boost in for BP5. Oh, T-side going to come through, making some noise about it. So the CTs are going to get the idea that this is coming in.
Needs to disturb the boost up. Aaron in the areas of flashes over. These guys will get boosted. Bedito missed the window. He saw perfect vision onto the T-side play, but just didn't register it. That's going to be a kill missed out upon here for the CTs.
Those are the opportunities that you really need to capitalize on, and just not being possible at all. More util being baited out by the CT side. It's only Fleeve really that's held on to a fair bit of it, rotating out to the B side. First time we've really seen him on B. He's always been AWP'd up in A.
.45 seconds. Carefully waiting, silently waiting for Wisla. Flash is sent over for Marcos. Was trying to indicate some sort of A play, try to draw attention away from that B stack, which is in effect. But unless he strikes with a kill here, there's no real reason for BP5 to make a move. Corey will start leading. Flash will go over. Goofy looks towards sight, sees Aaron, gets that kill easy. Smokes the rest of the 2 players back over Pretty. Bedito will get caught off in the end. The kills have gone the way of the CTs. Meanwhile, the trades are decent. And Coolio makes it a 1v3 for PHR. Last man left. A bomb out in the open. Got to get kicked and planted. Wins that one fight. Needs to get a couple more involved in this one. 4 seconds. Out of time. This will be a 3rd round for BP5.
Oh, it gets hunted. Was it just no? Yeah, it was after time. Yeah. I'm just trying to work out like how close that was to the timer expiring. So that actually makes a huge difference. And that whole situation there for Wisla, they got read that there was just a fake up on A. Marcos trying to sell a couple of flashes over the top. You had that one aggressive player of Corey in the bathrooms. He's not seeing or hearing anything other than those 2 flashes. And for Wisla, when you're committing to a B-side execution and you're running into a 4-man stack on B, it's going to be very difficult to open up the bomb side.
Yeah, that lurk out towards the mid control. The flash is thrown up over the T-side line. We're trying to draw the CTs away. Ultimately not working out towards their favor. Had they rotated, that would have been the better call. But time's so short, and Wisla, well, now they're hurting for cash. We talked about the damage being done by BP5 in all these rounds, and it's finally going to come up to a reset. Mac 10 and AK being the best weapons. The automatics, Tech 9s, the Eagles. Other than that for Wisla, hard invest back here. We'll leave nothing in for round 15 either.
This is going to be the B-side exit with only a couple of players on the site. 3rd one still on rotation. AWP's been seen. Goofy with the Tech 9 finds it first. Oh my goodness, they've just opened up, and they know where the AWP is too.
Forced out, tagged up, missing his shots of 4 versus 3. His 2 CT teammates coming in from Connector, but Fleeve is going to fall well before they even make their way out past the smoke. It will clear, and at this stage, it's best to save. I want to save with these rifles. Even then, they're knocked back a peg on lost bonus, so is it even worth it to do that into round 15?
Yeah, it's... You've got to hold on to what you've got, buy it up completely, give yourself the best chance possible. What hurts in that round is just how caught off guard they really were. We didn't see the anti-rush nades out to Monster or that short angle from the sandbags. And for Goofy, it's too easy, isn't it? The flashes are coming through. No one's playing anti-flash. They're both caught completely blind. Couple of kills in for the Tech 9. Andy even saw the AWP round Graffiti. They've got all the information on where those 3 players are. The nade even comes through from Jedka dealing with that AWP of Fleeve. And BP5, they just can't catch a break.
Well, it looks like they are going to catch a break. It's immediately stashed away from Wisla. 11-3 for the Poles. And yeah, this map pick going swimmingly thus far. Budapest 5 suffering to the hands of the Polish squad, on for a 12-3 half. They can just make one more good execution work out if they can overwhelm BP5 one final time. And this is their T side as well. The CT half is rated better. And that might be an even worse prospect, I think, for the BP5 camp.
Yeah. It's not something you want to be thinking about, but it's something you have to be. Corey just trying to see if he can hold out for Connector itself. Isn't a massive amount of con presence in for the T side. There's got PHR and a late lurk back. Sparrow going to start clearing out this party position. Corey's got to make a decision. Hide back down or take the fight.
Gages and Vine Sparrow. Taps to the head, and finally something going right here for the BP5 camp. Marcos' AWP is ready for him to reface up top con. He's not going to give him the time of day, though. Know that there must be much more T-side presence around here. A couple of M4s, interestingly, here for the keys. Now swinging to get the kill on Corey, upgrade to that AK. If they can register it here. Jedka finds Aaron, meanwhile. 4-on-3, advantage swings back to Vista.
Just how quickly those couple of frags come in for them to now fight back in the advantage situation. 2 on Ave and pushing forward, and for PHR, he's just waiting for a mistake. Badito catches off the lurk. PHR looking for a trade back on A. Koofy gets a pick too, and Fleef's down the last one left. They know that he's up on A. Okay, just get that bomb down at B.
And he waited for a little bit. I don't think PHR would have caught him off, so maybe there could have been a chance to capitalize on all three individuals. Either way, he's going in for this retake. 3K clutch for him. Diffuse kit and incendiary. Incendiary is responded to by the T side line. Will suppress him back over Graffiti, reading the exact position of where he's going to go. Starts leaning forward, looks for the player over towards short, does not see him, looks for the player over towards sight, and Marcos just takes the swing and a hit with a simple enough kill to end off the half. 12-3 up for Vista. What a dominating performance thus far, Dwayne. Truly an incredible performance from them in the first half, and it just looks so solid, really.
Yeah, and they were just a better team by far. BP5, they had moments, they had chances, and they weren't able to win a lot of these clutch situations. That's what hurt the most in the early stages. We saw Marcos winning 3 clutches in the first 10 rounds, and when you're down sort of 2-8, just the momentum's disappeared, the lack of confidence as well, and that allowed BP5 to just start running away with just a huge deficit. Vista getting up to a 12-3 half. They'll be very happy with the performance there.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, I could see this one going down to a 16-3 if things keep going down this way. BP5 routine changed the narrative. Come into the CT side with a fresh mind here. I hope they take the massive amount of time that the most time that they're given here in the halftime pause to rediscuss and re-strategize and rethink where they're going to go with things. Because quite honestly, like, it's a possibility they could just get stomped out of the first map.
And being stomped out of the first map may have sort of ramifications, right, going forward into the rest of the series, and how Mirage actually goes down, knowing that it's an okay map for Wisla and it's been as dominant as it has. BP5 on their debut here in the International Cup have not been able to start all that well on Overpass. They did win Pistol though, so I'm gonna hold out that going into the first round of the second half, that if they can get started, if they can get some early rounds in, they can hold a chance.
Pistol's got to start off on a positive, though. If it doesn't, we could be in trouble. Badito sees 2, takes the first. Aaron there to support him alongside him because of 2 kills instead in his stead. And Jedka, USP back in a 5 versus 3. Going to be the next contact in the connector. Could get sandwiched in towards that mid control. Sees that one player and bails himself out. Teammate going to have to strike from long and clean up the player also out towards the Ticon angle. Corey gets caught. Secondary frag. Badito should come easy. He's solo HP. Jedka can't quite make it 3. And now Sparrow's got to deal with it all. Sees them coming out with a P2K. Fights on Fountain but loses his life. And now PHR with his own clutch to hold. Not going to happen as Aaron goes massive. 3 kills to his name and an all-important pistol for BP5.
Good stuff. Great couple of opening kills out from Connector. I mean, that was just brute forcing the fights, really, for Aaron. Jedka, for a moment, you think to yourself, okay, he's actually bringing this back. He's got a couple of kills. Double dips for just slightly too much. Doesn't need to overextend in that 3v3 situation. Sparrow struggling to get the pick out from Fountain, and for BP5, that's their 4th.
Gouts back in for the likes of Sparrow, trying to respond towards them. Vista, of course, with 3 downgrade sniper rifles. And AKs galore for BP5. 1 Mac 10 as well for Coolio. It could be nice to get the money together. There's no one playing with Head, Kevlar, and Vista. case of trying to get the MAC-10 engaged in the long-range angles in particular. He's playing out a monster, seeing nothing even as the smoke clears.
You'd have to imagine with all these scouts in that we could be seeing a lot of tag kills coming in, and the Deagle's just being able to finish up that MP9 as well for Jedka. If he gets into an aggressive position like he is a divider, Sparrow, there's another tag. This is just more chip damage.
Sets up the MP9, the SMG over BP5's part. Aaron taking even more tags. There's potential in this round here for the Wisla camp. Gonna wait and hold. Prepare for when they make their moves in. CT's also readjustables that B site in case there's a rotation, and there is a rotation. That bomb's lurking outside Monster.
I don't really see this buy set up very often anymore. It used to be relatively common on Train City side on the anti-force buy where you could buy triple scouts in. Trying it on Overpass, and so far being very successful in doing so. Jedka's even making an info play.
They're going to catch him off guard there. Here they come back into connector. Squeaky door was opened up, but they're going to go for a full-on gamble stack here. Wisla ready to receive, but the spread out can come forward towards mid. No, they're going to commit. Aaron out of Monster. Sees that scout. Goofy with the Deagle on sight. Gets that first kill. Sees the second players as well, peeking out to the left and right. Sparrow to deny the bomb plant. Could be enough right here. Badito swinging. Coolio catches the kill back. Scout involved. Kill found. Sparrow looking up close. A 3-on-2. Coolio's low. Another no-scope coming in for the snipers at the CT side. As it's all kills, all on Scout, all day for Wisla as they steal the round from BP5.
And what is so unfortunate in that situation is they did so much right. They have a lurk of what? We saw the one individual of Coolio up in that bathrooms position being able to catch off the connector rotate. And from there you think, oh, okay, they've got themselves that first frag. They're going to start shifting them back to A. And instead it's anything but that. Wisla have got so many players down on that B side. And with the time being low, they're running into a complete gamble.
Great adjustments from Goofy to get the information. Even though he went down, his teammates really did the work here. Sparrow in particular. The number of no-scopes that have worked out so far for Wisla Krakow are a little bit silly at this stage. But it works for them regardless, and it's 13-4. Forced by back in for the T side. Coming in with their pistols, the Galil out for Coolio, MAC-10 in for Corey. Corey going to try to lead that charge force. Seems to be a fast execution coming in towards that B side. Charge forward, dead right. Immediate kill, and blind kill from Goofy follows it up.
And they're going to just continue going forward. So many CTs out to B again, and entries are just not coming in at all. Goofy picking back out to that monster position, and it is just clean up. Wisla being in the right position at the right time. Not many players being flashed. Even the early incendiary damage was massive for the T's running through from the sandbags area. And Aaron's thinking to himself, yeah, not going to do much here. 1v5, might be able to do 1 or 2 kills. That's pretty much it, though.
Cal needs to go down for the money bonus here. Trying to take face out towards Monster, give Goofy a quadra. Another great sequence from him on the back of T ramp, 14-4. And at this stage, you might want to call it done. 10 rounds of the difference, even if it's not done. Even if BP5 manages a slight comeback, it's only 2 more rounds to go for Wisla. He's going to get ripped apart on that pistol eco. Well, kind of forced by conversion, no matter what you want to call it. They're going to force again here, so BP5 don't want to play for OT. I think they realise that that's going to be too far gone.
Yeah, you might as well give yourself the best chance possible of actually fighting something forward. Miss nade again. We're seeing quite a few miss nades out from the Wisla side. Does do some team damage onto Jedka. Not a massive amount. Wallbang sprams onto Aaron. And for Wisla, in this sort of position where you're up 14-4, you're just thinking to yourself, let's close it out as quickly as possible. Let's not allow them to have any sort of in to just start a comeback.
The Eagles are trying to force forward. Corey in particular leaning up towards that bathrooms angle with the mid control. Several players stacking up from Vista on towards long. The utility going down to be evaded. Thinking it might be a flashbang. Sparrows takes swing, sees one player back behind the rock. PHR comes up with his 2 kills in mid, nice and easy. 5v3 with the Molotovs burning and keeping the T-side player suppressed. AKM Marcos wraps in against Flea, misses the window, does see the man, but the deal I should say comes up with a kill regardless. Sparrow and Jedka, 2 more responsive frags back over to the back of the A site, and Flea that AK in a 1 versus 4. Gets another kill on the way out, but has to concede map point.
What I am enjoying here from Wisla is there's nothing out of the ordinary. It's not as if we're seeing some wild play style that is just catching Budapest 5 off guard. They're just playing good Counter-Strike. They're trading off one another incredibly well. They're being able to put themselves in good positions. They're making some good reads, and they're winning so many of these opening man advantages. And for BP5, it's honestly just disappointing that they haven't kept this more competitive.
Again, I feel like it's a map where you can expect this kind of a scoreline to get out of control for Wisla. I would have liked to see it be a bit more competitive. I think we all want to see in matches being competitive. But in this case, I can't say I'm too disappointed or too shocked that this is what's coming from the Wisla Krakow camp. BP5 making their way in with one last shout into the good night. Jedka and Goofy with a crossfire. They do isolate those 2 kills actually, so it's a 2-for-1 that favours the T-side line. PHR held back in the back of the site. Bullets flying towards the position. He tries to re-angle, gets the kill on towards 2 more players, drops that bomb again. The 3-on-2 advantage against the BP5 trying to pick up the bomb plant itself. Kills back for PHR, bursts forward, and that's going to be it. 16-4, Wisla Krakow with a simple map up against Budapest 5, taking their own map pick of Overpass.